So if the idea is that in the order block, so if we're using this, let's say this as our order block, we're believing that this order block price should come back to it and send it up. But what would be something as prices going up that would make us trust that this price will keep going in that direction? So,
Mhm.
and that's the idea. The idea is that instead of using stop runs, so in this instance, let's just assume that this was a range and this is just an assumption. When the range ended here, um, we are assuming that this was a stop run or even this guy. So this last candle rather was a stop run because it ran this as at before this candle happened, this was the whole B. It ran this, but it's not doing anything. So we are saying you can easily remove this candle from the equation and just consider this whole B, right? So when you forget about it was just a stop run, price comes back into it, taps into it, price runs further down. So I'm applying something very similar, and I'm telling myself that instead of considering one candle as my stop run, let me consider an expansion to another expansion as my stop run. Does that make sense? So it's like if we have this expansion and we are running through this previous expansion at this point, I'm considering that wrong stuff. I'm considering that if I go back, by the time this expansion ended there, this this guy was the run on this guy, if that makes sense. So I can change this to blue and delete this. And so I'm saying this guy ran the stops or ran the liquidity of this previous expansion. So if we print in quote an hobby, but since it's going to be the opposing candle, then I'm saying price would do this and then CST that guy and go down. That is the idea behind all of this. So it's like at this time in price at 720 or at 8, I put my an indicator there. So I'm assuming that I just started trading at this time in the day. I had this expansion up, I had this expansion down. I'm considering that all of this expansion here was just a stop on this previous expansion. So it as a stop on the previous expansion. Imagine you're flipping this upside down. That means that at a point in the future, on this my blue line, there's going to be a green candle that comes in here. It could be a week. So if we are trading, sometimes if we want to buy, we want an OB, CST the OB, and I buy. But sometimes we don't get an OB, we get a rejection block. Then CST happens inside, and then we buy up. So instead of buying and looking for reversals, I'm flipping the same idea. So it's not something that I'm inventing. I'm just flipping the same idea on its head and saying, I flip this and instead let it be a continuation towards the direction price has chosen. Because the thing is, we come into the market or I come into the market and I want to catch reversals first. It's just in my head. I want to see a reversal, something that can make me catch the bottom. But what if I do not catch the bottom or I do not catch the top, but I catch the middle? Would that be nice for me? And that is essentially what I'm trying to do or what all this is all about, really. So if I continue from there, so we're assuming that we are starting here. You still with me with James? And or if everybody, anyone can just say anything just to be sure that I'm not talking to myself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we started here. And now, because I know Tuesday on Wednesday, Thursday was super nice. So maybe Monday was not the best to start. We tell ourselves where this blue line is, we want a green candle. So someone says, you want to say failed bullish expansion, print a failed bearish expansion for continuation lower? No. For me, I want a bearish expansion, a failed bearish expansion to be taken by another failed bearish expansion, and then we point a continuation candle at the open, sorry, at the low of the bearish expansion of this first bearish expansion for Dion. So we have a failed bearish expansion. When we had this failed bearish expansion, so if I go back for a minute, so let's say we just assume we are not doing anything on the left. This is just, I usually try to introduce a concept or to share it as its basic. It's easier to add high time frame stuff, bias and everything later. So first keep it very mechanical and then it goes. So it's like when it starts here, we had this bullish expansion. We are taking it like a range. If you have a range of price, then we want something to happen. If you're trading, I think if you're trading Hobby, I say run this range high and then I would sell. So run this bullish expansion, run its high, typically if you want to tell a reversal, and I will short it. But instead of using one candle, why don't we use expansions? This is from the March 18 video. He says if you're trading on one time frame, then let's have a first failed expansion. Let that failed expansion be your key level. Let its highs, its low be your key level, and then wait for a second expansion around that first failed expansion and trade that second expansion. And that's what I'm using here too, because I trade like that already. So I have this failed bullish expansion. Like I said, I know it's criminal not to look to the left, but I'm assuming that I'm starting my day here because it's mechanical, well, of some sort. Failed bullish expansion. Just give me like 10 minutes. If in 10 minutes time after showing it, you do not get it, please, I would explain again and again. There's no problem with me with that. So I have this bullish expansion. I'm telling myself in the back of my mind, all right, I need a second bullish expansion above its high. Instead, we get a bearish expansion. I'm telling myself I need a second bearish expansion here. I am doing nothing. I am not considering this as an whole B for this. I am not considering this as a bag to go lower. I'm telling myself I have no idea what price wants to do, but if I have a second expansion, that would tell me what price wants to do, to give me an idea of what price wants to do. So this way it takes away me predicting price. It just makes me flowing with price. All right. I get a second expansion through it. The expansion ends here. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I have a bullish expansion. I have a first bearish expansion. I have a bearish expansion that is closed below my first bearish expansion. So in my mind, for a minute, I'm deleting this. I'm thinking of this like, all right, I just have this price run in there. I just have this stop run on all the buys that were here. Okay, so, but if I want to continue downwards, sometimes in the future, I want where my yellow box is, or I can just use a line now. I want sometime in the future a green candle, which is a buy candle. Yeah. So I'll move this up a little, just put it out. So, and I'm doing nothing. And what will happen? If that green candle comes here and we CST it, I will sell it continuously because I believe this was just a retracement to continue further until we start expanding above other previous expansions, then other bullish expansions, and price is bullish. Until then, price is bearish. Kish said in the second video he made on the August series, he said you have to keep looking for. He says if there's an expansion closing above another expansion, then price is telling you it wants to go in that direction. You keep buying support again and again and again until it fails. So that's the concept. We go on. Again, my blue lines are always where I expect either a green candle or a red candle. So at this point also, I expect another one. I am not mindful of, I'm not trying to catch a bottom. I'm not trying to something. I'm assuming I just started trading here. So of course, I can also use the reverse on this opposite side, but to not keep it complicated, I'm just assuming I started trading here. I'm not worried that I'm missing all of this. If price is indeed, we've all seen it. If price is indeed bearish, if you zoom out, they tell you to zoom out. Price is always doing like this. Retrace, expand, retrace, expand, retrace, expand. So during this retracement, I should get something that should send price downward. So if all this is happening in my mind is just still looking like this, I'm either going to get this, or I'm going to get, or we are going to get this, return here, come back, because price is not going to move the way I want. But if these lines make sense, so we continue. You see, this was like a rejection in quote, like a rejection block. Turn this off for a minute so there is not too much lines and stuff on the chart. At this point, we have a next bullish expansion. So it's easy to get tricked that price is expanding up. But if price is truly expanding, give me another, let it be expanding on top of each other. Since we started trading, we have seen more bearish expansions close below a previous bearish expansion. Price is bearish, if that makes sense. That is, it's like the order flow is bearish, if I can say that. Again, we wanted something there. Now this is, in my mind, I'm removing all this piece of action. It's just noise. We are closing again. So for the first time, this might be my opportunity to sell. Might be my opportunity to sell. It helps me. I don't have an ego to where what price is going to do. I do not know. I call it continuation block just for myself. So there. First time that a green candle closes. If we CST this candle, I believe will go down. All right. We have a CST there. I'm going to sell. Ideally, I want to put my stop here because imagine if this was an order block. If you were buying, let's say this was your order block, you would buy this. Typically, we'll put our stops below the swing and we'll target it a little bit for spread. So if I'm flipping it on its head, my stop should be here. I don't want us to be closing or expanding through this candle. However, price can weak it and continue. This could even be a red candle. So for my sanity, I expand it just a little bit up. There's no pants here, so I'll put it there. 15 points is much, but I'm tracking this high. If we close above this high, I don't like it. I'm a point trader. I can lose 100 points in a day. This is 15 points. It's not too much. Additionally, I do not like the fact that it's here because I've said we can print a green candle on this blue line. So price can come back to print it, but I do not know. Price can also die if the bearishness is strong. So I will start with that. I say 50 points, but 20 points is okay too. Just to start, I start with that, but I extended 50 points so that my runners can continue. But let's start with that. Picks me, wicks it. This is what I meant by price. It can expand, I would accept it, but it can also die. Bless you. Price is expanding, expanding. Oh, almost lost, doesn't lose, but I have a feeling that might lose or not. Loss, no problem. That's the first trade of the day. We are done, 15 points. Now I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the next expansion. What happens? This happens. All right, I'm not hungry. This was, okay, equity is open. So that can happen. What else? We didn't get a green candle. We wicked into it. And now I'm just waiting. And I'm just doing the same thing. Price closed above. What did we get? We get this green candle we had been anticipating. Bearish continuation block. No, I'm not using opposing liquidity one, nothing. This is just using expansions on expansions. I got a green candle here like anticipated. There. So the CSC of these two guys is very important. But those are under green expansion. This was an expansion through this green expansion. So a red candle can print here. And I keep tracking it like that. If price is truly bullish, then we should keep expanding above previous expansions. And we continue. If I borrow this line, I'll leave it there for a minute and bring it up here. An expansion, we expanded through it. I'm going to buy this CST if it happens, because this Wrong stuff. Should be a bullish continuation block if price is truly bullish. Until then, do nothing. We have this. I've just taken a loss. No pants. This is my ideal stop, 13 points. All right, I'll put it there. 22 points. After about 15 points, I'm still within range. This can still come. Typically, I want to put it there if I'm trading normally, because this is the first bearish continuation block here. This is my first invalidation of the whole setup. I'm not afraid of this. This is 40 points. It just means I'll close my day early. But if I'm right, price will keep going up and I have more to win. But my first place I'm tracking is don't close below 5. So I'm watching it. Nothing, no stress. Dies. But these are the nuances. I swear there's no stress because all this can happen. I already told myself that maybe I'm not supposed to take this trade because all this can happen. I don't know. No, but we'll see. Now we've CS'd this guy, and some might say maybe you don't have a bias, but like I was sharing the other time, look at what has been happening since price has been ranging, kind of, since the start of my range here, down here. It has been ranging. Price is not expanding. If it's truly expanding, things will go very well for me. But no problem. We continue. Oh, sorry, mistake. Closes here, wicks back into this, sell, because we wanted that. I started with 50. That's not a trick. We already aligned this bearish. Comes back to its open, sell. Continues like that. So we already said on this blue line, we wanted a red candle. This until we close above this guy here. I'm not bearish. I'm not bullish. We wick below this. If next time we get this, this is it. I would start maybe something like that. 37 points. Like I said, not care. I lost 15 points here. We lost 33 points here. We've made 50 points back. I'm BE for the day. I still have my 100 points that I started with. And I'm not, this is just so basic. I'm not waiting for the perfect entry. I'm not thinking about anything. Start with 50 first. And then I go on. If price comes back or not. Price misses me because I wanted there and dies. This is nice for me. But what happened there? Red, red. I'm expecting a green candle here. So I still leave this there and I'm tracking it depending on what happens here. Before that, sorry, if I use this, there was the last expansion before I went up there. A green candle can form here, no problem. I do nothing. Now we are below. I'm waiting for something there. There. If you CST this, I would sell you. It's still 9 o'clock and I'm at break even. And I start again. We are closing above previous expansions. So give me something to work with. Did we close here just to confirm? No, we did not. So this is the next place I'm looking at. Okay. So this trade got in at this point. This expansion happened. Once this stops, because that's me, we have been expanding up. I'm not trying to impute my rights on the market. Once this happens, we close below this. Once we see this, my loss, I have a loss already on my short. This is the next thing. Expansion, I'll put you there. So once this loss is closed, I'm buying this. And I know it sounds crazy, but before that, we already highlighted that these two guys, this one and this guy, is our next bearish block. My first targets, my final targets will be there, but I'll watch our price go. Picture order again in case it did not do it before. Now price is ranging. What is happening here? Green, green. Above here, same thing. I wanted a red candle, red candle. I bought this in real life because I remember this trade now. This, same idea. 50 points was this one because this is the longer trade. But I'm watching this target. Green, next time we expand above what is here, and we put a green candle there, a black down candle, a CS of it, I'm going to buy it. In validation, we start closing below the lows of the red candles. We are not doing that yet. Until, yeah, this was the first time we started closing below it here. I know it's exhausting, and maybe you guys be like, okay, this is not. But what happens here? We'll see. And so once this confirms for me at this bam, 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 once this confirms, this is gone for me. Now, these are the things that happen. There's a loss simply because of this. But why did I trust this sell? Or why did I think about this sell? Because I know that price might still put a down candle here. But I'm not concerned. This has happened. Now, price is going to give me something here. This was going to be almost like B somewhere there. It's very painful. In real life, I did not trust this because I have evidence of that, but it doesn't matter. And it continues on and on and on. It goes like that. A CST, and you see that this ran up very well, I believe, if I'm not wrong, to our final target there. So, yes, I suffered this loss. I suffered this loss. This didn't get up to 20 points, or it did. So I will have taken a partial on that. And this stopped me out at B, nothing. I've been able to make another 50 points here. And I know this doesn't sound very interesting and it sounds very boring, but this has saved me and has allowed me to be able to be on the side of the market as much as possible. I do not chase reversals. I'm not anticipating that I'm going to get out at a place. I just trust that price would end in one place, and I trust it, and it works well. And see, just to show us what I'm getting at, we keep closing above high candles, above the high of candles. Market is bullish. Failure to close below the uh, failure to close below the sorry, I'm having like a B attack. Failures to close below the expansions of red candles, price is doing nothing else. So we do nothing. And oh, someone has a question, Ben. Yes, please ask me the question. If anybody has a question. Hello? The person can type it or and why is that is going. I'm going to move to Tuesday and Wednesday quickly. And I will show the same thing and I would shut up and I'll stop talking. But so this was Wednesday. Please. Oh, you meant the question about the OLR or something?
No, I think Black Coffee has got his hand raised. I don't know if his mic is
Oh,
working.
okay, please. He can talk. Please talk. At 7:20.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. So just looking through your, I'd say the markups, I just wanted to ask, do you have like a specific RR that you focus on? And also on the same,
No,
do you have like any specific stop loss management system or something? Like, do you place it on a specific level, or
okay.
how do you go about it?
My stop losses are typically, like I said, in a day, I don't want to lose more than 100 points. So I know that. Since so it's about the point. So let me give an example. How will I do I typically target 20, 50 points, and sometimes I leave it on. At 20 points, I take something off. I have to. Why? It allows me to be able to hold the runner up. On my SL, it's more like I have always, before I didn't trade with one, then I was like, that's just criminal. I always have an hard one on the chart, but I have my invalidation levels. Excuse me. Okay, so at 720, let's just use this example. We expanded up. So this is where I'm tracking. I'm wanting a down candle. So this was the first time we got a down candle into the into my range. So a CSC of this, I'm going to buy. I bought this. Like I said, the idea is to use this candle, because if this was an OB, you would put the candle for spread and your account for spread and put it just below it. But market can weaken to it. So this is 5 points. It's 5 points out of my 100 points for the day. I can start with 10 points. But if we start closing below this, then I have to make a decision. Are we expanding through it? If it's like, so for instance, in this, okay, we don't have an example here. So if we start expanding through there, then I can close this early. But so I always have an hard stop because price can dump and I don't want to have a massive loss. But then I have the first invalidation point. I don't know if that makes sense. Does that answer your question?
Yes, yes, it does.
Okay. So if you continue with this, and then on this day, I start with 50 points, not because I'm targeting 50 points. I want that, but because just like price can dump, price can just pull up. But at 20 points, so somewhere there, something has to come off. 1,000%, something has to come off. So let's hold this here. This is the first trade we went in. Expansion, expansion. This is the first time we're closing through, not this because this was just above it. First time we're closing through an expansion to the highs. My continuation block is this guy. Bearish expansion. We came down here, we put another one there. This. Close above this, I'm buying. We close above this here. So this one, because we're closing back into this. I hope that makes sense. We see yesterday here, buy, maybe the high, maybe the open, depending on my spread. This is the first invalidation, like I said. But this trade is running there. This is 5 points. I can extend it. Now I'm running on 27 points. Let's say this is 20 points. Let's just go 20 points on each one of them. Expansion, expansion. We drop down into it. I'm going to buy the CST of this. Sometimes now I can move this one to its invalidation, which is there. 4 points. This is still very close. I can move this here, 10 points. Because I am not expecting a green candle or a red candle down there again. We've put everything that I expect here down. And that's what I'm saying about managing. But I always use a stop loss because price can drop. So now I'm managing on these two entries 14 points. And this continues. So let's see. Comes back into it. We go up. This is an expansion. Did this close above this old one? Yes. Down candle. Yes. So if we see as to this, I truly believe price is going up. These are the reasons why this first one has a bigger position. Why? Because its stop is down here. So, sorry, its entry is down there. So you want your lower entry to keep riding and you want to take the partials on this. But this is 20 points. So at 20 points, I'll take something off on all this if I was trading normally. But it's not about the wins. We had the CST there. CST is weak or something for me, close above it. Like I said, if I put my stop here, which is the first invalidation, this takes you out and price is still going up. So I put it down, 6 points, 10 points, or I can put it back to these entries here. Or even better still, this is 4, this is 14. This will have been down there. So 14, this is plus 12. This is less than, This is less than 30 points. So that's just 25 points or 26 points. It's not crazy. I can put this at this open. This already might be more than 10 points on each one of them. You can move to break even depending on what you're doing. But no bottom wick, maybe there, maybe there. I don't care. So I care, but I'm observing. Do not start expanding through this guy. Don't start expanding through it. That is not nice. But if we keep expanding up, because expansion, this is one expansion, that is encouraging me that price wants to go up. Goes up. your second trade already, it's 20 points. First trade already, 20 points. So I tell myself I'm going to have 2 days in a week that is going to be glorious. But on those 2 days, I'm going to have a killing. I'm not going to be afraid. I'm not going to say I've gotten my 20, I'm closing here. Why? Because if this is the start of the run up, then I will keep buying into it until I cannot buy again. And if it starts falling, I'll keep selling into it until we cannot sell again. Simple. Now with its TP on 2 entries, it's easy now to move your stop to its invalidation. It's just 2 points. Or break even of the other ones because 7 points. You've won 20, 20, and that one's about to get to 20. And like I said, you have left partials to go up. We continue. There. This is the reasons why you put on hard stop. And this is also the reason why, I thought about it. 2 points, it's too small. 7 points is not killing. This will have stopped your break. And you see what happened? Bam, bam. But why were you anticipating this down candle? Of course you were anticipating it. This is what I like about it. We closed above this. We put a down candle there. We closed above this high with an expansion. What were you expecting? You were expecting a down candle here. Gives you, I'm bullish here. Down candle gives me, I'm bullish here. Again, it's a very crazy entry because this is about on this kind of setup. I'm thinking about, okay, this is 15 points. This is more money. I want to protect on these 3 or 4 entries that I have. I don't know where this was previously, wherever this was before. On this 1, 2, 3, 4, if you close it at 20 points each, you just made 80 points. Now I can risk 16 points. That's the way I think about it. Now this is becoming bigger. The bigger my stop, I start getting more conservative because price might be reaching its high or price might be going higher. Okay, guys, picks it 20 points. Now, if I was holding partials on this, I'm expecting a down candle here at the future. On this day, I traded this day live on the Discord. And if you go back to the Discord, you'd see me posting pictures of all this trade there live then, because it was the same process. Now I'm expecting a down candle here. So if a down candle can be printed here, if I'm holding a partial, then I'm telling myself price can come back all the way here. So I'm telling myself, do I want to give up 13 points or am I good for the day? But price can keep going up. You've paid yourself your partials on the first one. This is what I'm telling myself. I think this reached 50 points that day, if I'm not wrong. That is going wherever that is going. Doesn't matter. And we continue until this ends. You see, comes back. This idea of knowing that price can retrace on me gives me interest to, do I want to take profit or do I want to check the price? We expected this red candle, like now, close above this. And I would trust that we want to go up. Else, what's my first level? This is the last time we expanded down. Until we come below here, then maybe we want to go down. Until then, nothing about this gets me excited that this is the place to fall. I believe price reversed here, if I'm not wrong. Yes. This was Wednesday. This was a high. But I was like, this helped me to know that, okay, take something off. This might be the end of the range, especially having this. We have so few minutes left. First bearish expansion. This is our place for bullishness. Close below this again, we are bearish. Do nothing. What happened here? We went up. We CS'd this. We came back into it. Maybe I will have bought it here. Let's say we bought it here because I'm feeling like crazy. Now this is 20 points. Sorry, the other way around. This is big. But I'm not liking it. Why? Same thing. We can still be traced down here. Talking about this is making me see something else about this, my ideas. Dies. This is why I use a stop always. All right. I've lost 18 points. I don't know. Let's say we've closed all this trade or not. They are out at Bray. We only had 20 points on them. And that's still 80 points on our partials. expansion through it. So I need something here. We've expanded through this high. There's going to be a green candle here, and I'm going to sell it. Green candle. Close below it, yeah, and I'm selling. Before this happened, we said there's going to be a green candle. So this guy is asking for both of them. And if you remember, Kish said at this point, we are below 720 and was interested in a sell. Stop is there, 21 point. Kish said on this they wanted 2 p.m. price and it was further down. So I started with 50 that day. Because, and this is 2 entries for me because each setup for me has its own. So 2 entries, 2 setups. Before this happened, I said we're going to get something here. We got it here. We got for this one, 2 setups. That's what I meant. Under expansion, what are we expecting? We are going to have a green candle there in the future. Under expansion, green candle. So, 1 here. Sell. I'm not putting my stop there. It's just madness. Above, maybe there. Now I'm risking 50 points. But like I said, I'm observant of what I want. This is going to 52. As if this is going to 50, then I'm expanding this and I'm just putting alerts there to tell myself where price got to. This can happen. We finally got this. What will get me excited? We start closing below this. There you go. So this will return back here. Sell. High there. Down there. We've expanded below these expansions there again. The green candle is going to form inside at this high. If it CSEs, I'm going to sell it. This one. We have less than a minute, so we'll just rush through it. All through this price, nothing showed we are going up. Expansions were not closing above expansions to go up. And price did what it did. First time started closing again above expansions, but we're not confirming the continuation blocks. Continuation block for your ego. This green